There's another shooting today. There's a shooting in Tulsa, Oklahoma today. We've had multiple mass shootings in the last 2 weeks. So if all these people are praying and all these people are going to church and all these people believe in God, 95% of the planet believes in God. And this is how everybody acts, then how would everybody act not believing in God? We'd be eating each other's faces in the street.
I mean, maybe we should give it a try just to see, because
maybe we should give it a try because it can't be any worse than this.
Yeah. The entire West was under a Christian theocracy for the entire time that we refer to now as the Dark Ages. So the idea that like low church attendance is somehow contributing to these mass shootings is utterly ridiculous. It's not like we didn't have famine, pestilence, plague, and also wars. We literally had a war that they call the 100 Years' War during the time in which every country in the West was a Christian country and everyone went to church all the time.
Right. Which is why I don't trust religious people. Religious people are always the first ones to show their ass. There was a whole bunch of religious Christian cops standing outside that school in Uvalde and didn't go in and save any of those children, although a handful of them went in there to save their own kids. So all those cops with guns, how come they didn't go in there and take out that kid? They let that kid run rampant in that school for an hour. You know why? Because all of them knew that AR-15 was going to blow them away. But I'll tell you, I bet you every single one of those parents would have rushed into that school. And the teachers that died saving those students, and these people have the nerve to say, I don't even understand how the NRA felt comfortable going to Texas after that event. 3/4 of the state of Texas should have ran the NRA out of town, not forever necessarily, because the NRA serves its purpose, but that was an inappropriate, insensitive time to host that event on the heels of those shootings.
They do that all the time.
Well, then you know what? Then we get the world that we settle for. Mm-hmm. They should have been run out of town. Every Christian should have been standing outside that convention center embarrassing these people from going in. Every cop should have been embarrassing. What is it about this country that we prefer guns to God?
More guns than people.
And now there are 20 babies being buried. And one of the teachers, her husband had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. So now they've got 4 kids who are orphans. Mm-hmm. But we know more about Amber Heard shitting in Johnny Depp's bed. I've heard more about J-Lo's green nail polish and her engagement to Ben Affleck than I've heard about what are we going to do to move this nation to a space where we can go outside without wondering whether or not we're going to get murdered on our way to the store. I don't want to hear shit about mental illness. Every country in the world has mental illness. We're the only country that's blowing away people in the street.
Boom.
I'm over it. And I feel like this Amber Heard Johnny Depp case is just symptomatic of the virus that's eating away at this country, which is literally just superficiality and intellectual laziness. I know more about Kim Kardashian catching a dick from the SNL guy than I know about what happened to the shooter in New York.
What the fuck did happen to him? We have no clue.
We don't know. Mm-hmm. This country needs to pick up a fucking book and not the Bible either, because that doesn't seem to be penetrating the minds of anybody. So let's stop kidding ourselves that we love God and we pray. I'm so happy. I didn't hear a lot of prayers and thoughts this time with regard to Uvalde. I think people were like, this is not the time to say that shit. And even if people are praying and thinking, where's all that praying and thinking getting us? Nowhere, because there's another shooting today. So either you motherfuckers aren't praying as much as you're saying, or your prayers aren't going anywhere. So we're going to wait for the mystical magic man in the sky to do something rather than just us saying, as much as we have the right to protect ourselves, it's more important to keep children safe. And I find it interesting that the same people who are clutching their guns, who, if you ask, why are they so fervent about clutching their guns? So that if the government ever tries to intercede in their individual rights, they can defend themselves. So y'all don't trust the government, but when Black people say they haven't trusted the government for 300 years, you're looking at them like, slavery again?
That's because it's complete bullshit. It's not about, I don't trust the government. We need to be able to take up arms against the government. No. What they're stockpiling guns for is because...
What are they stockpiling guns for? Because I'm being told that it's in case the government, tries to, enact tyranny in our country and we blah, blah, blah.
It's not that they're trying to be on guard in case they need to rise up against the government. It's because they are not on guard in case of, but because they're stockpiling because they are hoping for a race war. They want to be able to wipe out all the people of color, especially the Black people. They are hoping for a race war. They are hoping for an excuse to go out and murder every single Black person they see indiscriminately. It is not a precaution. It is I can't wait until this happens.
So
and I'm going to be
then every Black person in this country should get a gun license.
Yep.
Why don't we though? Why are we not the gun crowd? Although I think Southern Blacks have guns in their homes. It's part of the culture. But what's going on with Northern Blacks? Why are we so anti-gun? I'm not, but I think generally speaking, Northerners and liberals and Democrats tend to be less gun focused. Not completely. They're not completely anti-guns because this is still a very pro-war country. So that means you like guns.
First of all, Northern Blacks live in blue states, so it's harder to get a gun.
Harder to get a gun. True.
Guns are more expensive. And then two, they're worried about being associated with or getting caught up in street violence because there is still gun crime in these places where Blacks who live north of the Mason-Dixon line in blue states tend to live.
You lived in Texas. Did your family own guns?
No, but we shot guns.
Okay, so you know how to use a gun.
Yes.
Is that something you would teach your child?
Absolutely.
Do you think people should carry guns to the supermarket?
Women should. I believe every woman should be given a concealed carry permit if they feel like it. If they want to, yes. Men, I don't think you should be carrying your rifle on a date with you any and everywhere.
Or to the market. Like if you've got to carry like a semi-automatic weapon to Whole Foods, then we've got bigger problems than I even thought.
Yeah. But I got no problem if a woman has a little gun in their purse or whatever, because all of this violence is done against women. It's mostly people that they know. So yeah, they want to have a something that they can use in close quarters that they can grab quickly. If that saves their life from a rapist or an abuser, I got no problem with it. I'd prefer if everybody just had tasers and mace, but
yeah, a woman. I've carried a shank in my bra since I was like 12.
Yeah. When's the last time you heard of a woman going on one of these mass shootings?
Yeah. Why is it something specific to men? How come women don't blow away everybody? Shouldn't they be more? I mean, men claim that women are the emotional ones. So how come we're not the ones blowing away people since we're so emotional?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should. Maybe it would change the conversation a little bit. Although I don't think anyone would be talking about women having mental health issues if that's what they did. They'd be like, oh, wow, what a psychopath. It's shameful. I'm disappointed in the state of this country. I'm disappointed where the week, the day, the month, and the year is going.
Mm-hmm.
We've had so many shootings so far that people don't even want to go outside.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to go to Pride this year.
I don't know if I want to go to Pride. I don't know if I really want to go to any open concerts, big public concerts. I don't really know if I want to be in a big, huge public setting like that. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I'm on high alert the whole time. And I don't want to be one of those people that's like running for my life from a fucking concert at Jones Beach. Like that's not it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we creating a world like this? And why are we voting for people who are supporting creating a world like this? So at a certain point, whose fault is it? Mark Rubio was asked by a student, will you stop taking NRA money? And his response is, if they invest in my agenda, that's not me necessarily supporting the NRA. That's them supporting my agenda. So your answer is no, asshole? Let me guess. You're a Christian.
Mm-hmm. Pro-life.
Right. And pro-death, all in the same breath.
Mm-hmm.
So the same group of people who want small government want that small government small enough to fit into a woman's pussy. Fuck this bullshit.